remember, Walt himself was very, very woke, wasn't he? Not. Not. Yeah. I mean, it's the opposite. The actual Walt Disney himself.
Had a vision, you know. Did I think? Like I said, I earlier in the stream, this is a hill I think Disney's going to die on. Right. Or it's going to get to the point where the until the stockholders go stop. Right. You know, stop this rot. But their woke films that they brought out, Strange Worlds, Lightyear, stuff like that, all failed miserably. You know, maybe, just maybe, don't try and push this thing onto kids. You know, when you've got, and it's so frustrating because, you know, I don't want to be seen as attacking like the alphabet community or whatever, but when you're literally 3% versus 97%, and then all we're getting from Hollywood now is literally like a rainbow being bukkake onto our faces 24/7. It's just like, stop it. You know, we want some masculinity back. We want some femininity back. We want some action and adventure back. We want some entertainment back. But apparently, entertainment is a white privilege now. And that's why we must be edutainmented.
I remember seeing a picture, it's years ago now, you know, quite a few years ago now. There's a picture of Kathleen Kennedy and I guess members of her team. And they're wearing T-shirts that said, the force is feminine or the force is female or something. Yeah, right. I remember seeing that and it was sort of one of those shock moments. You're like, I genuinely cannot believe my eyes, you know?
There was one woman with her, and then there were two girls. I think the two girls were like 16, 17 or something, because they were pushing some product or something. Okay. But it was a clear message as well that Kathleen Kennedy was saying, hey, you know, we're bringing our brand of feminism to Star Wars. We're bringing our brand of feminism to this franchise that they bought so they could attract male audience to a very predominantly female audience company. And then what the first thing they do, feminize it all.
Yeah. I mean,
and not well either.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's horrible to see because, you know, like a lot of people of our age or even a bit older, you know, the original Star Wars trilogy, episodes 4, 5, and 6, you know, again, nearly everyone of our age will say this, but it's got a fairly special place in your heart, in your identity in some ways. I don't want to overstate it. But, you know, episodes 4, 5, and 6, just, yeah, a big part of my childhood somehow, you know, and to see it actively subverted in the way it has been, it's I mean, it's more than infuriating, you know. I haven't almost got words for it, the way they killed off Luke and stuff. I don't know. I haven't watched the last 2 movies they brought out, and I watched Mauler's very, very long breakdown of one of the last ones, and that was more than enough for me.
Yeah,
you know, I really honestly don't need to see it. I really don't. I'm missing nothing. Really,
same. Yeah, I didn't see the Rise of Skywalker, but I did watch the 3-hour Mauler breakdown of it, and I was much more entertained by watching that because Mauler's much more entertaining than that film looked to be. Yeah,
it's better content.
But you know, there was photos taken inside of Lucasfilm where they were just like no to Luke Skywalker and crossed off, and you know, it seems to be very disrespectful to the legacy characters. And there's a YouTube channel, Star Wars Theory. I think it's the biggest YouTube fan channel out there. And at the end of Mandalorian season 2, where they bring back Luke Skywalker in to take Baby Yoda. He watched it and he teared up and he cried and he put his review. You know, he put it up there as his reaction. And then Pablo Hidalgo mocked him. You know, somebody within your biggest fan on YouTube gets mocked by Pablo Hidalgo, who works, you know, who does his Star Wars stuff. And then that caused Pablo Hidalgo to try and get in touch with him to apologize, and then people going, "Oh no, you misinterpreted what Pablo Hidalgo was doing." And it's like, well, if they misinterpreted what Pablo Hidalgo was doing, why did Pablo Hidalgo try to contact him to apologize?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's just not making any sense, guys. Yeah.
And then and Pablo Hidalgo's got links to Rewriting Ripley, which is a blog that 3 people read, that consistently at parts throughout the year will write the same terribly researched hit piece on myself, Ryan, Geeks and Gamers, Gary, Drinker, the whole job lot. It's a broken company with broken people who aren't there to produce, who aren't there to produce entertainment for you, who aren't there to produce characters that you're going to love in the future, 30 years down the line. Nobody's going to, I don't think people particularly give toss now of the sequel characters, let alone in 10 years, they'll be forgotten.
Yeah. When you said that Pablo Hidalgo's got connections with, I thought you were going to say the Chinese Communist Party, but you went in a different angle with it. Different angle there. I would love...
No, that's just Disney in general.
Right, yeah. I've honestly got a list. We're not going to get through it all because this is taking up your whole morning. I feel a bit bad. But I'd love to have you back on if we could. But I've got a couple more things before I let you go, if we could. One, I've got to talk to you, at least briefly, about G4TV. The cautionary tale. The cautionary tale that is... it got Frosk bitten, didn't it? It just... It was sort of... It was like a slow motion crash, right? I mean, I think you might have said exactly that. I can't remember, but it's just so obvious the trajectory that was going to happen there.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I think just calling it a cautionary tale is sort of the perfect thing. You go woke, go broke.
As soon as she did that speech, you don't have to have much of an IQ to realize exactly what was going to happen.
It's like 1-2 steps ahead. Yeah. Surely, can you not see?
Oh. You've already killed the channel. You've already killed G4 with that speech in January. It was dead then. I think I did a video saying it's already dead. Now we've just got to wait. Wait for them to realize. But it's already dead. I think it was Gary likened it to that scene in Austin Powers where the henchman is just miles away from the truck.
Oh, yeah.
And he's just going, stop! And it's just going, move out the way. Stop! And it's just, when it pans out, it's so far away. That's what it was like. It was already done. And just everything around that whole speech, the whole speech was fake. It was phony. It was written because of an ego of a person, because they were criticized for their takes. And they didn't, how dare you criticize me? And unfortunately, they dragged the back crew in. It was okayed by all the other people like Adam he's called Adam Sessler. I call him Adam Cesspit because he's possibly one of the most vile things I've ever seen on Twitter. The stuff he says is just, a sane person doesn't say these things. Right, yeah. Legitimately, a sane person doesn't.
A well-balanced person at ease with themselves just wouldn't be like that.
My brother votes differently to what I voted in the past. I love my brother. Right. Right. This guy's wishing death. He's saying if they die, I'm just going to sip champagne because they voted different. The whole thing was created incorrectly, mishandled. Why were you doing a studio show? The overheads of that, they were always going to be up against it at the best of times. So even if they were all of the presenters were just like, yeah, we love you, you're awesome, thank you for coming, they were going uphill anyway. When she did that speech, sexism gaming, first of all, shut up, you stupid bint. It just, the ridiculousness of it, the hypocrisy of it, the ego of it. Because I think some of it was certainly constructed because she was very jealous of the way that people perceive Olivia Munn,
right,
and sort of the way that Olivia Munn has had that kind of like status within G4, and it was clear from it. It's just written from a place of hubris, just a place of vanity and ego, and she thought she was so amazing when she'd done that speech. And it was so funny because her and the rest of the people that were applauding her, none of them had the self-awareness to see exactly what everybody else saw. And when you just killed G4.
yeah. And apart from anything else, I mean, hubris and vanity, perfect words for it. But apart from anything else, just so terribly out of date. Like like she'd never heard of Anita Sarkeesian or Gamergate, or it was already well out of date, right? It's
but they still those people still reference it because that's the only thing that they have. Anita Sarkeesian would come out of a scam cave to scam people, and she'll come on and she'll go, "Oh, sexism," and now people are like, just go away on the internet, on Twitter even. They'll just be like, just fuck off. Brianna Wu, whatever that is, I don't even know what that is, what a Brianna Wu, but you'll still see her referencing Gamergate today. It's because it's the only thing that they've ever had. It's the only relevance that they've ever had, and so it's the only thing that they've had to hold on to. Now, I won't darken your show with giving my take on Gamergate in the crudest possible fashion. But it's so funny that some people have one version of it and some people have a completely different version of it. And the people that have a completely different version of it are protecting each other. How queer, how odd, how weird.
A bit like the history of the Maoist era. Depends what side of the aisle you're on. It's a completely different story, apparently.
But if you want to hire
Frosk, like that. It's a type of, it's denying reality and history and the cause and effect and everything. It's a type of madness. I really do think it's a form of insanity. I don't want to overstate it, but
no, I think that when you live in a bubble and you go out of that bubble to try and engage normal human beings, regular human beings, your reality doesn't transpire. It just doesn't equate to what's going on in the real world. So what if some guys are in the chat going, rather bang Olivia Munn than Frosk? So what?
Yeah, right.
How does that hurt you? How does that affect you? It doesn't. It doesn't whatsoever.
To react in that way is perverse to me. It really is, to react so aggressively, really. I mean, it's horrible.
When you think you're better than people, when you think you're above people, and they do.
Yeah.
But if you want to hire Frosk, she will kill your company. She will kill your company. She'll do it through tweeting. She'll do it through her own behavior, and the psychopathy of the fact that when they did the big layoffs just before the whole thing just went tits up, when they did the big layoffs, 30 odd people or so, and there are people that are sacked because of her and Sessler and all the people that clapped like seals and supported it. And then she goes onto Twitter and went, I survived. She doesn't, that is psychopathy. She doesn't, that's sociopathic behavior.
Yeah.
It's all about her. It's just all about her. I'm all right, Jack. Don't matter if filing cabinet and zipper and all that get fired. Don't worry about those people who probably need that actual job. If I'm all right, I don't get fired, I'm all right, Jack. And then as soon as she did that tweet, and I called her out on it. We all called her out on it. Next day, I think it was the next day,